Ends with what? What does it end? How does it end? Alright, where were we?
A party?
A party. Well, you are a party of people, yes. This is an undeniable truth. I honestly want to look at Midnight Isles and see if it goes another new direction after every single gear change this has done so far. Because, you know, at this point, we've had standard adventure-ish. Let's have a war. Now it's, let's have a hex crawl. We got 3 more books. And already, all 3 first of them have always been something completely different. So, at the rate this is going, I expect the next one to be about social encounters. Who wants to make a guess what book 5 is going to be? A weird, unrelated, one-off mechanic that really should have been a campaign spending thing for clarity.
Dating sim?
I like that. I like where you're going. I like where you're going with dating sim.
Finally.
Daisy, what do you think?
I think it's going to be some kind of fishing minigame.
I mean, that is a weird one-off gimmick that doesn't really contribute to feeling heroic, I guess. Heroes don't manage cities, and heroes, they lead armies, but they're generally not, you know, that involved with it. I mean, that's the part that gets me. It's like, here's an army. It's like, but we're the heroes. It just feels a little grounded for with the direction you've been going the last few years, Paizo. For the heroes to suddenly need an army to fight their wars for them. I'm just saying that you're starting to show signs of your animification that I really want to punch you in the gut for. Oh well. We'll see later. I'll see later, because now that we've started this, I'm going to start preparing Book 4's content. Because I'm smart, and I prepare like 8 sessions ahead, which is really stupid, now that I think about it. Point is, you've saved the day-ish. Actually, you've liberated Dresden, to be specific. They couldn't even be bothered to put a freaking town marker on the map. For here's Dresden. It's all letters. Congratulations. Presumably because they used a splat map. No expenses were... Actually, all expenses were spared. Point is, you're in Dresden. You've liberated the basement. You found the banner, the Sword of Valor. And some of you were still under the impression that it was in fact a sword and not a banner, despite having been told that all the way at the beginning.
Yeah, but it's called a sword.
Maybe you'll find a cool sword somewhere else.
I don't
You
even
won't.
want a cool sword. I just want, like, truth in advertising.
You probably won't. The majority of demons that are melee brawlers tend not to use weapons, and every other demon is a spellcaster, so you're probably not going to find a cool sword unless you fight a Balor.
I think we don't really use swords.
Do you want to fight a Balor? You're more ready than you should be. You also found some prisoners and an escapee, which you were told about multiple times over the course of your journey that someone had escaped. Which is a surprising amount of lead-up to one specific plot point in Book 3. Now that I think about it, it wastes a huge amount of space to one character instead of the actual villain. Alright, you're seeing the Dresden countryside. You're in Dresden. Between the end of the last campaign and this, there's going to be some time, like a couple of weeks, as you start to organize the city. Reinforcements will arrive from Queen Golfrey. Excuse me, she's Queen Golfrey. And she'll send you a letter as to what she wants you to do. Is there anything you do in the intermittent time? As you slowly watch this ruined, destroyed city rise from its own ashes.
There was something I was...
My hands are tingly. Yuck.
Will tingle. Isn't really anything in particular. I'll probably just try and help out rebuilding wherever I can.
Marvelous.
Oh, yeah, that's... where is this thing? Ah. Well, I take 2,000 gold from the party fund to get a bottomless quiver for ashes as well.
Ah, here we go. I knew I made a quest log. Level up the goon squad. I don't know what that means. Good job making notes for myself. Oh yeah, there's the corruption fort you're supposed to take care of. There was the prisoners you saw escaping that you were kind of upset about.
All right. The dad cat and friend.
Dad cat and apparently daughter cat. He looked like a big friendly guy though. He waved as his daughter dragged him out of there. Big dad energy is what you could say to that. It is a Saturday after all, and those are made for dads, so.
So it is written.
So it is written, so it shall be. So yes, you have the corruption force to take care of, you have this guy to take care of. You can sit on your ass while Social takes care of the city management business for you. Relax a bit. You've been in a very tight few weeks of doing stuff all over the place.
Yeah, well... So how much time was there?
Couple of weeks.
Couple of weeks. Well, Fire announces himself to be a saint of Erastil in the meantime.
Excuse me?
Yep, I'm a saint now.
I want some information. How and why you're allowed to call yourself saint?
Because I can now grant my followers magical powers.
Oh. Well then.
Clearly I'm a saint.
I gotta say, you've really moved up in the world.
Let all of this go to his head and has found his own mini religion.
Do you wanna build a church in Erastil's name with a cool statue of you or something?
That would be nice.
Hey, I'm gonna scooch up as a new saint.
Yeah, it's just a little statuette of me next to the Erastil shrine, you know. Just a little dude with red hair, the bow.
You know, you think they would be a bit more humble, but the guy who makes you is really putting in the artistic license. There is way more fire going on. He must have heard your name wrong or something.
Nice.
You're more fitting for a fire elemental than a person, but hey, in a few years after you're dead, from reasons, at the very least people will remember you with cool hair.
Oh yeah, there's continual flame. You could use that for the hair.
And at that point, he butts in and starts giving advice on how to build a statue just a little bit better. Carrier, what do you do? Where do you put your feet as you kick him up?
Probably try and figure out what the hell is going on with Dad Cat and Daughter Cat.
Well, they have been arrested by the Paladins for, sneaking out of the place. A whole bunch of people that have been sneaking out of the place so far have been cultists and demons that they've been bonking on the head. When you step outside on the day, the moment of the day, you see like several Paladins very sternly look at them, and he's trying to defuse the situation.
Situation diffusing is one of my specialties.
That's one of his specialties too, apparently. He seems to be extremely diplomatic about the situation.
Stroll on up like an English cop, though. Well, what we have here? What's all this then?
When I said I want to show you just how strong the big dad energies are in this guy. Bam. He's a big old kitty. And he is big old warm small, despite the fact that things aren't exactly going his way. The Paladins give you some room, since they know that you can... since they maybe heard the big explosions happening downstairs. I think he used a couple of big fireballs down there, right?
Well, yeah. I think I've used at least 2 or 3.
They might have heard that, yes.
2 of them.
The first thing he says is that he thinks that you have a far more amiable visage than the rest of these fine folk do. His daughter, who... you don't need to roll sense motive to know that she exumes that natural, edgy teenager energy of she would sit in the corner being all lone wolfy while everyone else is trying to organize a party. So you're the one who's been... Well, technically my daughter organized the rescue, but... mind if I take your name? You seemed quite capable in that little scrap I saw when we were making our leave. And he holds out his big old hand, which is mounted the other way around.
So I take it and shake it and say,
That's weird.
My name is Cariel, and I am in the business of demon obliterating.
Ah, yes. I figured as much, considering you were doing a fine job obliterating demons. You might have missed one, though. There was one in I was in a cell for a while. There was one in the opposite one, and she was being very, very melodramatic, if I may. I assume she's been through a lot to be so melodramatic, as my daughter tends to be the same, but she left a while ago. For some reason, the protective wards on the cell gave out, and she just left. I heard a lot of screaming about organizing some attempts to capture her, so...
Knowing our luck, we'll probably run into her at some stage.
I made people who don't want to be found tend not to be found unless you look for them.
Maybe. So, why exactly were y'all locked up in the basement of a demon castle?
Oh, I was just walking along the fine road. I wasn't quite informed that things had been happening around here as they were. So, I was rather surprised to find myself arrested for crimes of not being evil enough, or something like that.
Demons would do that.
Apparently I didn't kick a poor starving puppy when I gave it a nice sausage instead. And then they broke apart my cart, killed my servants, and threw me in a jail cell to rot. Wasn't very pleasant. I assume my daughter managed to figure out what I was up to in the meantime. She's a resourceful little lady, isn't she?
It's a good thing you have such a capable ally.
She's my daughter's more family than ally, really.
Well, families are allies.
So
sometimes it depends on the family, really. Some people have really shitty families.
So if your point is to fight demons, mind if I ask why you're out in the material world instead of out in the abyss? I've heard there's plenty more demons to be fought over there.
Well, the whole problem is the fact that there are quite a lot of them that came here and they're not allowed to be here. So we need to, put them back.
Ah, yes, the world wound business, wasn't it?
Yes, that big, massive, huge thing.
So what are you going to do next then?
Honestly, we're kind of waiting on orders from Big Boss Lady, who's probably going to tell us where the next big step is. Because right now it was clean this place the heck up.
My goodness. My goodness. Well, that's all quite lovely to hear. Can you tell these men that I really don't mean any harm, and I would love to just go my own way, but they keep pointing their little sharp sticks at me.
They do that. They're paladins. They know two things: point sharp sticks and yell. And
Hey, you know a paladin who doesn't point sharp sticks, he shoots them.
yeah, but you gotta point them before you shoot them.
I've been caught in a trap.
That's how you aim.
I have been bamboozled.
Yeah. I'll inform the General Army that you don't mean any harm.
Marvelous.
Parade around and do whatever it is. I guess.
Well, I'll probably be around town. I've got to send some letters, organize someone to come and pick me up. What about you, Pala? These people seem like your kind of folk. You love, what was it? Going out and about and having a jolly old time, was it?
That on the resume.
I mean, I guess you could call it that. She kind of sneers at him for not taking her part in the situation seriously.
Gosh, Dad.
Gosh!
Don't understand what I do for a living. Cool.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I did have to sacrifice a whole bunch of jobs to come over here for you, Dad. Fairly you can do is be appreciative to me instead of her. That's how they are. That's how they always are, isn't it? Maybe you could take her for a run around the mill. Maybe we should learn a little humility, things real heroes at work. Instead of all
She
this.
did do kind of all the work in your rescue. We were just fighting some other people.
Oh, I'm certain you would have had no trouble at all getting me out of that mustard cell.
Well, I
No.
don't doubt that. Again, it wasn't us.
Yes, yes. Oh, see, this is what I mean when I talk about humility, my dear daughter. Plausible deniability helps a lot with that. Now that I have a room to reserve, see if I can find any fine place to settle down, and you seem to have a whole few hundred men or so to take care of. Whereas I only have to worry about this little one, and he pats her on the head, and he's like, nah. Yes, like a kitty. How do cats do that? It's a mystery.
They get really cranky. Like grr. I'm a cat, but I can't grr because I'm a cat.
I can't grr, so I'll do the closest approximation. Sss. All right. He goes on his way, daughter in tow. And so, time will pass until eventually you receive a letter and a whole bunch of people. A massive caravan consistent of a lot of paladins to reinforce the location, and also a significant amount of laborers, artisans, and others to reinvigorate the city arrive. Now that's a way to jumpstart the economy. Gosh darn. Gosh diddly yarn. Apparently it took a while because they've been rebuilding and reinforcing the roads a bit on the way here. And they also have this fine letter to for you. From Queen Galfrey, who, for reasons I don't fully understand, does not include her title in her send-off.
She's just that kind of gal.
Listen, I can tell you that the Dutch Queen has way too many titles and they abbreviate it, and I understand that, but come on, Queen Galfrey. You're a queen. Flaunt that. Shake that taxation collectionist system.
I mean, we already know who she is, and it's meant for us.
But you're not friends. You've barely talked and hung out, and she's like, hey, we're on first-name basis with a ruler of a country.
We can be friends.
We met like once for tea. Anyway, she sends you hugs and kisses through her letter.
Mwah.
South and west. Which of these letters was Dresden? Is it D?
You know, it makes sense for it to be D, but it's probably not.
Dresden is A.
Of
Yeah,
course it is.
of course.
B, C, D, and E are all locations you visited on your way to Dresden.
Oh yeah, from the original map.
Yep.
The river crossed over.
Our increased tenacity. So, keep
One
like
way
this
of putting it.
Turn away from you. Pulling time to explore, investigate. Okay. Okay.
No, I need to look through this stuff a bit because, okay. I mean, there's a whole section for rebuilding Dresden, but it's not very interesting. It's just pump and dump some resources into this place. Unless you want to take care of, like, city building and planning and building your own buildings and businesses, you might as well not bother.
Might be. What are the rules for that? Anyway.
They're somewhere in Loss, in Ultimate Campaign. I'll look it up. I have the notes here.
Time for some Dresden Horizons.
My hand is still tingly. I just went for a walk. You should not be tingly.
Tingle, tingle.
Wiggle, wiggle. It's an ultimate campaign, I think, page 76. And no, I don't know that from the top of my head. I have a note here telling me where to go.
Okay.
It's under downtime.
Downtime terminology.
You can do things like explanation of downtime terminology throughout this chapter, earning downtime capital such as good influence and labor, the phase sequence for using downtime, the kinds of activities you can do with the system, constructing rooms, the building blocks of buildings such as guild halls, temples, and recruiting teams of apprentices and guards. Example buildings constructed out of rooms and example organizations built out of teams, positive and negative events that can occur during downtime and a downtime tracking sheet. Exciting! You can buy some magic.
Could make it more interesting.
I mean, for some people, being a homeowner is a fantasy to be lived out.
I can charge rent, and then you suddenly begin to realize why being a landlord automatically makes you pure evil, because now your profit margin is ruining someone else's life.
Like, yeah,
Yeah,
make this a.
I wanna say there are few occupations where your job description is quite literally you make money by making someone else's life less pleasant. Well, more money by making someone else's life less pleasant. Though to be fair, that's a lot of jobs when you really think about it. Welcome to factory work. We removed all the safety railings. They were expensive.
Welcome to capitalism.
So a game of Monopoly.
Monopoly is the ultimate game where negative bias is extrapolated to the extreme. Hey, do you want to play a game where one person feels good and everyone else wants to quite literally lynch that guy for what he did? He didn't do anything. He played in the limited set of options that he had, and it was the dice that fucked you over, but you're going to kill that guy anyway because he's the one that won.
It's kind of complicated. This would be kind of interesting if you were doing an open campaign and then your players decide to start building a city, their own.
AKA Kingmaker.
Yeah, well, Kingmaker. Well, there's lots of other games where this is a thing at higher levels. And we've seen older versions of D&D and their retro clones.
Yeah. And just like the army thing, I think this gets completely dropped in the next book. So.
As I said, will be more like something in a more open campaign where the players just decide to do that, but it's something they want to do.
Yep.
Will come for naturally.
Which is why it's only a few chapters, and it's completely optional to all the other proceedings.
Well, I guess it's also kind of showcasing that this is a thing you can do.
Wait a minute. It's possible, yes, that these released around the same time, and they were like, because the army thing was in her as well. It's possible these just released around the same time, and they were like, let's show off these new systems. And all I can say is this really the adventure path for that, though?
Yeah.
I'm actually curious about this, so excuse me as I get... First printing, it was May 2013. I appreciate that they put that in the books. Usually I have to go by the copyright number, because I'm dumb. And my brain can only process 2 words at a time. I feel you guys would be a lot more comfortable with Mummy's Mask, which is just straight dungeon delves. But that's just me.
Well, I could also do that. Like, I'm ordering the Tomb of Annihilation game where it's very much exploring an unknown map, unknown land.
Righteous wiki. I think the wiki has release date numbers on it. Yeah. Worldwood Incursion was August, and in May they released the campaign book. So yes, this was quite possibly entirely because they just released that book.
Yep. I need to showcase these new things.
You know, we're already showcasing Mythic. We might as well slap more recently released mechanisms that few GMs are even comfortable with in a very closed circuit. I like it. I like the gumption they show doing this. Okay, well, at this point, Socio, after you've read your little letter and just figure out there's a lot of land out there and we don't know where to go. Salsa will tell you that he's smart, and he has organized several scouts to scooch around and see if they could find anything interesting. Or some things for you to do, so to speak, that would help give guidance to your directions. Let's see. He's heard of a possessed priest that has been causing some trouble. He ran a church and then defaced it, and he's seriously convinced this guy's up to no good. And may in fact be possessed by some evil force, because people don't usually, bleed their own blood and take a poopy on the altar, so to speak. That requires some serious issues, especially since things are actually looking up. Unless this guy really likes demons, and it's like, man, without the demons, this church just doesn't have the same pizzazz. Additionally, the army that arrived had reported to Sociol that a series of raids took place around the cliffside. Near, I think it's E. Let me look up the cool chart I got. Yeah. A series of raids took place around here, like when their caravan was visible. You were probably not attacked because you were a proper army, and thus didn't look quite as appealing to attack, but these guys had lots of satellite laborers and artisans. They believe these raids probably won't stop until you figure out where they're from and you take care of them. They look quite capable, and were able to storm sections of the Paladins as well. Let's see, he has reports of a ghost town in the area. There's not much about it. It's a local rumor at best. And according to rumors, it might actually be your family crypt, Mr. Shersot.
Oh. Well,
Yeah.
That sounds like a thing we should probably deal with.
That-
Apparently it's somewhere up the road from Dresden. Like around there.
Right. That thing.
You have a backstory. Your divinity, right? Toulon was Child of Misery? Because guess
I
what?
think so.
Some of these may tie into your backstory. Oh, wait, I forgot. Talon's one is kind of stupid.
Child of the Crusades, my thing.
Yep. That's your family tomb. I made a note of it. Badam. Okay, and yeah, Cariel, for you, they, let's see. They discovered that there's a temple of Baphomet, which they think. No hard proof here, just a theory. It's kind of weird there would be a finely made temple of Baphomet out in the middle of nowhere. More a place for other kinds of fun stuff. You know, like proper good deities. It's believed to be somewhere along the cliffs that surround the plateau Dresden is on the west side. That might be worth investigating.
Always down for cleaning some churches.
Let's see. Where does this take place? Some people have been complaining about very bad dreams. His scouts haven't been able to find anything out, but apparently the dreams got more intense around the lake of lava.
Why are they sleeping near a lake of lava?
It's more that when they were in Dresden, they were weak dreams. When they were close to it, their dreams were very vivid, as if they were pulled into the abyss itself for a very short period of time. Desna would not approve. His scouts have been unable to penetrate the second plateau. There's something going on up there. Because normally scouts can get up anywhere they want. They're very nimble little boys, and they have grappling hooks. And as we all know, this can take you anywhere. Finally, he's gotten some strange reports of a constant storm. Like a 5-mile radius storm that's just kind of moving over the landscape. Last seen near this section of forests off in the northwest.
Forest. I guess.
I mean, forest is a very generous term. You are in an area where a lot of trees are made out of flesh and bone. Calling them trees is polite. Okay, there's one more thing, and that's a rumor you will receive. Well, oh no, there's a couple of rumors you might actually pick up on. One is that a dragon lives in the area, which I complained a while ago that it was kind of difficult to find out if a creature was blind or not. This is what that refers to. There is a very scary, very dangerous dragon in the area. A creature of tremendous might that gave the Yeah, they gave the scouts a bit of a scare. They don't know where its lair is, but you might want to take care of that thing, because if the demons decide to weaponize it, that's just gonna tear through the city with ease. It might be somewhere in this valley that the river formed. And another cool rumor you heard is a rumor about that in the area there is a legendary crystal tomb somewhere.
Oh.
Who knows where it is, but it's a legendary tomb containing rare treasures and blessings. Might be worth checking out.
That sounds like something you could probably want.
So that's basically all Socio can give you, since he's kind of busy. He doesn't have time to get full reports and everything. He just gathers up the basics and has to run the city at this point. Even though he divides it under some of the NPC partners you brought with you, they are also very busy. Running a city is hard work when it's rebuilding like this. All right then, kids. I slap you on the back and ask you, what do you want to do? You were told to go and explore. That means dropping the party token on the map. Bazinga. You can travel 1 hex a day, and you can spend a day to examine a hex. While you're examining a hex, there's a chance that some demons are like, hey, who are those dorks? And come to say hello.
Where was my family tomb?
To the northwest somewhere. There was a ghost town, and they saw like a statue of someone that looked like you. With the same enchanted hair.
That's a sign if nothing is.
Apparently, wanting your hair enchanted to glow, it runs in the family.
All got the same taste. Aesthetics.
Well, I have a kind of vested interest in seeing that. There could be some goodies there left by my parents when they had to evacuate.
Cool. It says cultists, but it's talking about different cultists. Nice.
Cultists, but not those cultists.
Now I'm looking at the encounter table, and it says cultists, but we already have cultists. You know those little weenies you fought in the first book? Now I have to use them from a different stat block.
Oh.
Though to be fair, if you're a cultist, you can gain class levels if you just kill enough rats. It's not fair. Why does the boss let you kill 2 rats?
They're rations.
Gee, Bill.
How come boss lets you have 2, right?
Oh yeah.
Fuck like a champion.
All right,
Since
then.
it's been a couple of weeks, we're meant to restore your stuff to full, including your surges.
Hit points, stat. Well, actually, you get most of your stuff back in 1 day. So, since you're now super tier, before Pathfinder had a long form recovery system, and now we're basically in 5e.
Hooray!
It's potentially even worse than 5e, since in 5e you had short rests to worry about to some extent, and here it's not balanced around any of that. Oh well. Just don't get kicked in the dick too often, and you'll be fine.
Can do.
Let's see, how do I... Okay, okay, there we go. I got the numbers. I'm smart now. By pure magic, I have gained intelligence. Some of your allies are busy running the city. Some of your allies decide to start pounding out some level, so to speak. One of which is, over the course of time, one of your buckaroos, your good old pals, old friends, old darlings, invites you over to help with the forge. Who here thinks that they have the good boy energies to purify a forge of pure corruption that burns the skin while you stand near it?
The fire-based paladin or the fire-based oracle?
Or the dwarf.
Or the dwarf who also can deal with forges because they're a dwarf.
I forgot to spend Abraxas's cool new skill points, so let me just take care of that real lickety-split. Abraxas has been reading lots of books! He also has an atomic large brain. So yes, Abraxas decides to invite you over. Whoever wants to help. Every single person that contributes provides, I think, a small bonus. Let's see. We first got to see if he has enough time because he has about 2 weeks to take care of this. He has a +10 from the book. That's not enough. And on the second day of hard research, as his skin scorches, sitting next to this thing. Every time he leaves, he comes out sizzling. Is that something?
You know,
I mean, I could probably go and, just keep him up with resist energy.
He can cast resist energy himself too, as he's
Yeah.
like.
okay. Also,
He's too
drop,
concentrated.
drop a magic circle against good, against evil or chaos.
Gets good.
Against good.
Don't you come any closer, fire! I don't want to hear you smack talk me anymore. Wah. Okay, let's see. All right. As he successfully manages to devise a action. Oof. Okay. Well, lucky you, this guy has become a master craftsman in the intermittent time. He sets up an incredibly elaborate magic circle, and he's gotten some paladins and stuff to create a comfortable area around it that doesn't scorch the skin just by standing near it. He does require someone to sacrifice a little bit of resources on this. Does anyone here have 1,000 gold to throw at his problem?
We have 17,000 gold.
Oh, jeez, we should probably go shopping at some stage.
He will make grabby hands at you.
And well, actually, our total gold is 21,000. Plus, we have a lot of stuff that we haven't sold, so it's much higher than that even. So, because apparently I'm the only one who looks at the loot sheet. Oh well, 1,000 gold, it's yours. Have at it.
He takes the money, and he buys a ridiculous amount of weird incenses, chalk, and all kinds of stuff. He is constantly running around consulting clerics. To be specific, over the course of the weeks that he's busy with this kind of stuff, he just kind of pops in and out of your peripheral vision like a bee. It's kind of weird how someone moves around so quickly. Until eventually he's like, Cariol, do you know anyone who can cast Hollow?
Not me, but I'd probably know somebody.
He grumbles. And starts asking around town. Now he has to spend some time finding that person. In the meantime, you can go ahead and take care of some of your purchases if you want to. Pulls on Solcio's sleeve. Solcio's probably the only one who can actually talk to people. This guy's like -3 charisma. There we go.
Does either of you use intelligence or anything?
No.
Yeah, kind of thought so.
Like charisma spellcaster.
Same. Well, my intelligence is kind of bad, so maybe should pop this on. Let that out. So what can I stop? Did either of you take Soul Shear?
Didn't you break that?
Yeah, grabbed it and...
Actually, when this whole plan comes up, Tick is like, maybe we should use this on the thing when it's fixed. And he's kind of been holding on to it since then. Anyway, after about a week, he'll be finished, and you'll feel the elation in the air as the thing is gone. And then he spends some time trying to make this unholy weapon of doom into something cool. Let's see. Appendices. I need to know what Soulshare looks like. It's such a delicious weapon. What is a transformative glaive? Transformative. Not transformity. I don't want to be transformity. Oh, that's cool. Could take any shape of comparable heft. Nice.
Okay, another. Did either of you take the Ring of Force Fangs?
Probably not.
Ooh.
No, I've written it down.
Well, negates any force spell or force spell-like ability targeted at the wearer. Doing so gives the ring a number of charges. Spell level with incoming force effect. Action on charges. Then you can use those charges to cast magic missile.
What is a bow like? He's like Sea Earth 4, right? 6. Cool.
Neither of you has interest, I guess I can pop that on. As some additional protection from the force effects.
Cool.
Why not?
On a sparkling weekday, you will be greeted with a new version of Soulshare.
Ooh.
It's pretty much the same it has been, in terms of what it does, but it's now lawful. Or it's like good. I think it only inverts the evil portion of it, so it's a chaotic good thing.
It's a good boy now.
Yes. Actually, I will say it's lawful good, because this is a purity forge for paladins who are lawful good.
Yeah.
At this point, your good friend Abraxas looks like he's been sleeping in soot for a week. As does the cleric that he walks out with, who is very much staggered by the amount of spellcasting he had to do. Ooh, picks up a +2 dex belt. Guess who's doing a good hula hoop? He screams that he has fixed it. I fixed it. And then he falls asleep.
Yay! You did a good thing.
Gracefully with the new +2 dex. Pat a pat. Alright, well, once you're done with shopping, give me a signal. And you'll get to decide where you want to go and what you want to do. And if you want to potentially take one of your newly invigorated allies with you.
How much is is one of those bets?
It's like $4,000, I think.
Okay.
A +2 is $4,000, yes.
Yeah, I took the 16 grand we had and split it amongst 3, so made sure not to spend over my allotment.
So, as a footnote, since Soulshare has been redeemed, you can sell it if you want to for 23,000. Or you can keep it.
Yeah. What does it do?
It's still a +2 transformative glaive, but it now is good and inspires you to do better. It also contains a Codex Archon now instead. It contains a book. Transformative means you can turn it into anything that is about the same, so you can turn a glaive into a spear, I think. Oh, wait, no, you can turn it into any two-handed weapon.
Oh, there we go.
So Toulon could probably get a lot of use out of that.
Yeah.
Huh?
Oh my god.
Between bows and swords and axes and whatever.
Listen. The preferred offering for a Hound Archon, if you want to bind them or summon them, is a stray dog rescued from the street, cleaned and fed, and promised to find a safe, permanent residence for the stray after summoning. That's adorable.
Aw.
Yeah.
It's about what you'd expect from some kind of super good being.
If you want to summon a
Take
black...
care- Take care of a papa.
I like that the Lantern Archon, you just have to promise to spend 1 hour in conversation with it. You just want someone to talk to.
Please talk to me. I'll do anything.
I'm right in your way. Just please talk to me. Everyone is so boring.
All angels ever bloody talk about is like harps and shit.
Ba-doom, ba-doom, boom, boom, boom. That's not a harp, that's a bass. And he's like, it's a harp bass. Ba-doom, ba-doom, boom, boom, boom. Oh my god, these are so weird, these offerings. An original parable or proverb recited during the summoning. Promise to dedicate 10 hours in the next week to a good temple or summoning. If the oath is broken, you agree to serve the Legion Archon unreservedly for 1 month. Wow. And one of them just wants a fine silk battle standard. Jesus.
You can tell that this adventure was geared for more traditional paladin by the number of full plates it's offering as rewards.
Alright, what do we find? A full plate, a longsword, a shield, a full plate, a heavy steel shield.
Ghost Touch full plate, a spiked full plate. Full plates are galore.
Haha, here's an anti-paladin. Does he have a bow? Nope. So you can just shoot him in the ankle and he can't do a thing. I used to be a paladin until I took an arrow from that jackass to the knee.
Well,
Yeah, that'd end your career.
somebody cast grease underneath you.
Oh no, Slippery Steve, back at it again.
No! Not Slippery Steve! Ugh. Oh my god. For context, Slippery Steve is an entirely grease-based wizard, and he's ridiculously powerful. After he first saw Grease in action, he was like, this is my life now.
It cannot be contained.
Who needs magic, missile, and fireball when you have Grease? Yeah, he says as he rolls on the ground like a ball.
Sliding around like Sonic the fucking Hedgehog.
Rolling around at the speed of round. I more imagine him sitting on his butt and sort of spinning in place like a top. Codex Archons are neat. They let you cast Magic Circle against evil. Oh, that's constant. It's just permanently affected by that. Neat. Oh, Transformative just adds 10,000 to the price. Wow, it's one of those ones. I never got that. Because it's like, if it's not a plus modifier, then how do you roll it on the table? Because there's a table for rolling. It's like, oh, you have a +5 sword, and then you roll again, and you're like, oh, it's a +2 bonus and a +2 in enhancements. How do you roll that for this? Well, maybe it has rules for that. I don't know. I'm dumb. I never use those tables. They're weird. They give me a frighten. At Ye Local Rebuilt in, Nishi plays constantly. And they're getting better.
Right? It's getting better.
What I mean is that their sing is now, even if they roll a 1, they roll 20. They're very good at singing. Actually, I'm pretty worried that they're starting to approach that point where, like, deities show up and are like, hey, I heard you sing, and they just pluck you out of existence.
Damn it, Aphrodite, for the last goddamn time.
You can't steal people!
I'm just trying to pay my bloody student loans.
It doesn't say how long it takes for a weapon to transform.
It doesn't. I think that since it's a command, it's a standard action, like normal magic item activation.
Right?
Okay, well, I'm gonna just get Ash's bow enchanted.
Abracadabra.
Yeah. +2, so I can have a magical bow at last.
+2. Why not go for +1 and Keen? Keen is nice. Keen is great.
Hmm.
I mean, it already is a times 3 critical, so.
I did Google it, and it says command word magic items are standard actions.
If we were using the 3 action system, I'd say it's one action. Wow.
Yeah, let's go for Keen. Why not?
Wow is the sound of eyebrows being very suggestively waved around.
Yeah, +1 Keen. Sure. That's still use the costume, so that's 8,000 gold. That's the thing. +1 key. And that adds to attack and damage. Okay, those things. And it's a key, so now its critical range is 19.
Heck. Look at this beta whooper. Look at how cute he looks.
He's been everywhere. He's adorable.
He looks like a cat. Yeah.
But it's like, I like his sideburns.
Oh my goodness, he's an emote now. Yes. Yes. I wish I could use it though. Oh man, Whopper. I don't have it. Oh, I'm so sad. I don't get the good ones. I never get the good ones, but I do get to enjoy this beautiful boy. Look at him go. Look at him go.
Good, sweet baby.
Ba 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 ba.
Okay, critical range. 19, 19.
Dude, that guy's huge. What's his deal? Oh, he's a goo boy.
Good.
Oh, that's your character from that one game.
Oh yeah, good fella.
I like how he eats someone and then puts them inside for safekeeping.
Yeah. Save that bad boy for later.
You're not safe in the world. Come inside for a nice sit. All right, are we done shopping yet?
Yeah,
Are we still examining some exciting concepts and ideas?
I got a fancy belt. A little twirl.
Single section. Wait. Doubles the attack range. Can you put key in on a range weapon?
I don't know.
Disable the doubles. Only piercing or slashing melee weapons can be key.
Ah, well, I'm dumb then.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Throw me in the trash.
And be keen.
Threat range. Oh, I thought it also let you enhance the critical modifier. I guess I'm dumb. I'm really, really dumb. All right. Well, enjoy shopping. I'll go pick up a newspaper and live up the dadliness of Saturdays. Get out my old smoking pipe.
Really?
Yes.
Do demons have resistance to electricity?
Immunity, even. I
Yeah.
think.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, immune to electricity, resistant to most elements.
Yeah, I think it's like immune to electricity, half damage from acid and fire and
That's
ice.
probably 5e. In Pathfinder, it's resistance 10, acid, fire, cold.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Which, by this point, Carrio's like, no, you don't.
Yeah, I just have to deal enough damage to cover. to,
Yeah,
it
but you
doesn't
can use
matter.
Mythic Fireball, can't you?
Again, that's not until like
I
6th tier.
I believe in you.
6th tier, I think I can.
I guess I need to take the feet then. Get that.
I just want to point out. I just want to point out that sometimes the fault lies with someone you weren't expecting.
Was it me?
I like that this guy is like, if Dr. Light had ever invented robots, none of this would have ever happened. It's like, dude. I think he has a time machine. Also, here's a frame for if you want to make some fun. Like make that into a vignette, and you can make anyone a helpful boy.
I could spend a couple of seconds just editing that boy out, allowing any boy.
A helpful boy.
Okay, I guess it's a +1 demon bane. Longbow then.
Ouch. Actually, not a. Actually, let me look up Bane because I think Demon Bane isn't a thing. You can't just say evil outsider in general, right?
It's outsiders. Pick one subtype. What's a subtype?
Ah, you can pick Demon, yeah. Nice. It's weird that I've heard lately. Apparently, there's lots of concerts going on in Fortnite, and I don't understand, man. What is the
Oh,
world
yeah,
coming to?
Because they can't have concerts in real life because of the pandemic.
The weird thing is they were doing this before the pandemic, which is the weird part.
Yeah, well, there was that one, you know, before it was a kind of a gimmick that you could do. Now it's a kind of requirements.
What a strange world we live in. Truly, Shadowrun was behind on the times. Oh, look at all these cool concerts with AR enhancements. Meanwhile, in reality, I put on my VR goggles and I'm in Fortnite. I just love it when future predictions are so wrong that you're just like, you know, I would have preferred this version. You don't even listen to the concert. You just put on these headsets, and it's like, well, now no one else has to be bothered by your concert.
Yeah.
Instead, now you're bothered by screaming man-children. Or like, God, the stupid Fortnite concert is ruining my ping.
I'm just trying to pwn noobs.
How can I pwn noobs when they're all in this stupid concert?
I feel like we've got off topic somewhat.
A friendly conversation goes on while Fire is managing paperwork. filing its tax returns. It is April.
So
Well,
when people do that,
Americans, at least. I think April is the time for taxes. Don't ask me why April. It's kind of arbitrary.
tax time.
I think it's because like June is the. It'll be July. That's the middle of the year. So it is kind of arbitrary.
Do you have... I think there was... Cloak resistance. Okay. I'm gonna give Ashes the cloak of resistance be found. Saves are kind of crap. Okay. I think I'm pretty much done.
Cool.
I can do some bookkeeping between sessions. I just need to remember to do that.
Then where do you want to go? Do you want to take any allies along? Although the only allies that seem to be in any decent shape for keeping up with you guys are Abraxas, who's been studying extremely hard and doing his homework. Firaxis, who felt so bad about being useless lately, he just doesn't feel like he was doing too much, that he's been power leveling. He's basically been participating in the Demon Watch and kicking ass. Nishi somehow has been able to keep up, probably because the paladins are like, we want the mascot with us, and then she sits on someone's shoulders and provides the bardic inspiration. I'm leeching. Tick Tick, who knows why this guy's getting better? Maybe he got quest experience. And there's Pala, who apparently is not bad. Like, you're pretty sure someone tried to stab her and nothing happened. And she has cool swords. That's all the qualification you need.
Well,
Welcome to the
my
Adventure
interest-
Club. How cool are your swords?
well, my two interests here are the family tomb and the dragon. So
Yeah, I'm interested in the like temple place, and the eternal storm sounds like something that should probably be taken care of at some stage.
Yes.
yeah, sounds.
But I'm okay tagging along to check out your family tomb because that seems like kind of a big deal.
Yeah, well, they said they left a cache of things there, so that could be useful. And also to prevent it from falling into demonic hands would also be good.
I like your thinking. Alright then, kids. That is a close location. Shouldn't be too far. It should be up the road. There's even a sign pointing to it. The place you're
Yes.
going is called... Let me look up the right letter. I think it was... There we go. Sesker's Gully.
Gross.
Well, Sesker's Gully is an adjacent ghost town.
Still gross.
It's also filled to the
Gully's a
brim with
gross
baddies. So they couldn't really examine the tomb too much. They thought they saw a ghost, though.
Ghost.
Haunting your crypt.
Oh, that's no good. Do any of our allies are good against ghosts? Any of you have ghost hunting experience?
On a scale of 1 to 10, how good does Button make you feel?
don't you normally get rid of ghosts by helping them move on to the next world of plane of whatever it's called?
Yeah, but hitting them really hard is more fun.
Just for context, Cariel, you're probably enough of a religious nut to know that that's not how you get rid of ghosts. Like liches, they just come back.
Yeah.
Well, you can make them go away temporarily anyway.
Yeah, for like a day or two, at most a week.
Yeah. Well, you know, then they're quite often aggressive, so it'd be good to have someone who can, you know, at least keep them off. Be able to do something against them.
It's your family. Maybe you can talk to them about it.
Sure. They have been corrupted.
Nice. On the day you leave, Socio will give you a pat on the back and wish you the best.
Thank you, Sauce.
And I don't think you can make it without a whole army of healers to replenish your hit points, which you can, now that you recover all of them every day. Yes, you made a mask for the good boys! It's all I ever wanted.
One transparent and one with just the background that was already there.
Oh my god, it's actually just... Yes! Yes! The power!
Now anyone can be a helpful boy.
I've never felt such power before! Nya! Well, unless you want to take anyone with you, it's time to go.
Yeah, well, that was what I was asking is, are any of them, like, do they have anything that would help with a ghost?
I mean, Braxis is a wizard, so he shoots spells, which tend to be somewhat useful against ghosts, maybe? Yeah.
Yeah, book learning would probably help more than sword swinging at this point.
Ah, it's somebody who's smart. That
For
would be
Abraxas,
God knows we need someone like that.
you take Abraxas along purely on the merit that he has a big brain.
We saw him reading a book one time. We were like, damn, wish I knew how to do that.
Books? What are those?
Too busy being sexy all the time.
Can you disintegrate a ghost?
I don't think so. I don't think it works.
Probably not, but
Actually,
shoot
you
them with
probably
magic as well.
can. But that's a little extreme. Oh well.
Disintegrate is always an option.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
I don't know what you have against gullies.
It just sounds like the word gullet. I hate the word gullet.
Where's this coming from?
It's a gross word. It sounds the way swallowing feels.
Gullet?
Oh,
Yeah. I suppose.
you take along with you a wizardly boy, and you stuff him in a bag.
Yep. Let's go.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Does anything happen? It's a great question. Yes! Yes, it does. Something does happen.
Oh.
What encounter did you roll today? Gross. Did I... Where is the sheet? I have to go to Bestiary
30
3.
dragons.
I have to go to Bestiary... No, not 30 dragons. The lower...
They're all stacked on top of each other and taped together.
This isn't Super Mario Maker. Don't give him a mushroom.
One of them fires bullet bills.
No, you just stack a bullet bill on top of the bullet bill that shoots bullet bills. But wouldn't those just shoot more? That's where they get you. That's where they get you.
It's all excellent investment scheme.
Is there V for vermin? Rot grub. Giant rot grub. It's under 2. Hey, it's the Pale Stranger. I used that guy at Starfinder once. I was in a parasite for some reason. Weird. Point is that as you begin to approach Chesker's Gully, you can't help but notice that there's a lot of bodies around the place. Writhing bodies.
Oh boy. That's the worst kind.
So this is after you've spent a day traveling and you're almost there when you start to notice that there are knee demons inside that place. But what grabs your attention more is that you somehow managed to walk along the road until you were like roadside mass graves from which swarms of rot grubs come. Actual swarms.
Ew. Oh no.
Rot grubs are disgusting.
Wait, I'm a fire. I use fire spells. Swarms can go eat a ham.
Yeah, I know. So,
I was almost worried for a second.
a bunch of
Watch
swarms
them
of
kick my butts anyway.
a bunch of swarm of pale, sharp-teethed creatures move towards you. And we have to go to a place where I can put you... also need to remove some stuff. Yeah, all this stuff is irrelevant now. Ruins of Dresden, goodbye. Skirmishes, goodbye. Citadel Dresden, goodbye. This one, goodbye. Do I have a map for this? No. Then to improvised we go.
Improv.
Oh no, that doesn't work. These things are large because they're swarms.
Belmore is Belmoring.
Of course, I know everything about science. Point is, you're surrounded by a whole bunch of rot grubs. Quite commonly known creatures. They are creatures, though. Known to infest the body and slowly eat away at your soul.
Oh, I need that.
Just plop yourself wherever you want in a little tight cluster. You are being surrounded by them. The road is 20 feet wide. There are also an assortment of fine trees and shrubbery, but all of them are dead and leafless. And we'll get to that once Mr. Gentleman comes back. Oh, no, I got a double. Oh, no, not F12. Delete. Ah, swarms. The best way to make any weapon-using fighter go, no! And say, I'm being bullied.
Personally victimized.
Bully.
She's not even here.
I can dream. Sparkle, sparkle. La 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 la. Who doesn't like swarms? Swarms, swarms. Get your swarms here. Big swarms, small swarms. Cario, how can you not love this beautiful, beautiful swarm of over 10,000 tiny worms crawling towards you with malicious intent?
You know damn well why.
Look at all these marvelous individual beings. The beauty of nature coming right at your ankles to suck out the blood and eat your marrow. Ah, nature, you're beautiful. Ah, my sides. Let's see.
Haha, funny jokes.
I mean, I wish I was kidding, but this does in fact burrow into your body and deal constitution damage. Oh. But only stays for a little while. Nice. Wow. That's awesome.
Is it?
Da-da-da-da-da. So, you got that cool mythic ability now. Does that work on ability damage, I wonder? Or is it just the hit points? Let's take a look. On the other hand, you also have like thousands of restore potions and all, so you can just swallow those if you needed to. Just open wide and pour it down. Tastes like garbage, but hey, who cares? No. Oh. This ability. Damage? Drain? No. I guess this time they didn't even consider that stuff. Huh. Belmore restarting his router.
Maybe he is just completely dead this time.
I can't believe Belmore fucking died.
Rip.
What kind of rip? Rip and pepperoni? Rip and pasta? What's your personal flavor?
I'm usually a ripperoni kind of person.
If Belmore does not return, this session ended because Rot Grubs ate his router or internet. They're in the tubes. They're in the tubes.
They're in real life. They're coming for him.
Or maybe he rage quit because he can't shoot grubs.
Swarms, nuts to this.
The one thing I can't shoot with arrows. I really wish that they did that. That there are subtypes and types that would increase the CR of something. Like if it's a swarm, it should be one higher because it requires such specific tactics to take care of. It's also a giant rot grub, and it has some amazing art associated with it. I'm gonna look it up.
It's a big chunky boy.
It's wrapped around one of the iconic character's arms. It's great.
Aw. Maybe.
Oh no. Oh, cool.
Message.text.
Yeah, that's guess why that is. It's because when you try to copy a link from Google, it's always huge. Here you go. He's like, oh no, I don't like this.
That's not my arm.
I like that he's holding it up too. He's like holding it by the neck, like, ah.
He's gonna munch your whole dang face, Mr. Wizard. Look at that perfectly face-sized mouth.
I like that the swarm is CR7, but the giant singular form is only CR3.
Well, I'd much rather fight one big thing that you could hit with a sword than a billion little things.
10,000. To be specific, you're fighting about 40,000 right now.
That seems
Which-
excessive.
At that point, the CR system just falls apart, actually, if you were to fight 40,000 of anything. Assign CR to this champ. Luckily, you have a wizard with you. Does he have
And
anything? You have another guy who can also cast Fireball. I'm a...
Finally, a kindred spirit.
What does Dragon's Breath do again? Ooh. Oh, wow. I like that. Dragon's Breath functions differently depending on the component you use to activate it. Okay, Belmore hasn't been here for a couple of minutes, and I'm beginning to become legitimately concerned.
Yeah, is he okay?
Normally, his restarting doesn't take more than a couple of minutes. That's it. I'm calling the police. Hello, officer. I want to report a missing boy. He was last seen trying to build an obscenely min-maxed character. Why is Advanced Identify called Analyze Dwemer? Who even knows what Dwemer means? That's a word you don't even know exists.
Skyrim players?
No, that's Dwemer.
Yeah, same thing.
Oh, wow. The Magic Among Norse Dwarves. It's a city of magicians in the Fabled Land books, and it's former magic in the Devery fantasy novels. And it has a subpage for Dungeons and Dragons. The Dwemer is an aura of magic, especially by enchanted magic items. Gary Gygax encountered the Middle English word Dwemercreeft in Susan Kelt's Sperling book, Poplilies and Bellybones. A celebration of lost words, where it's defined as the art of magic or juggling.
Juggling?
We're dealing either with a powerful magical relic or juggling balls.
Yeah, that's why you need to analyze it, so that you know.
That's why we need to get rid of that word from the English dictionary, so we can all pretend juggling doesn't exist.
Anyway, it's basically like super identify, I think. Yeah, I like this. It's like six levels. Like, hey, you can probably spellcraft most things. Here's a spell that does it for you.
For 1,500 gold.
Hey, listen, it's a focus. You only need to buy it once. It's not a material components are consumed in 3.5 regardless of whatever, but focuses, they stick around. I like that if you wanted to identify, you have to drink wine stirred with an owl's feather. Listen, man, you can't identify magic if you're not drunk. These magical components. As much as I like Pathfinder 2's action system for every component costs an action, and that's why some things become bigger, why metamagic works that way. But on the other hand, now there's less room to have fun material components because those will be actions and they don't want them. And it makes me sad. But I'll get over it. It also makes material component pouches kind of less interesting. They're already not as interesting. I think 5e went way overboard with them, though, because it could get away with that for free, since everyone had a stick. A magic stick.
Magic stick of I can do what I want.
I want to point out this artwork for one reason. This setup is like the opposite of what most artists would do. Massive focus on the hands, which are incredibly hard to draw. Look at that massive pointer finger she has.
Yeah, wow.
That's a sausage. But no emphasis on the faces or body. Like the easy parts are all darkened out, but huge finger emphasis. And why is she holding a key? Why isn't the key just on the table? Like, why are you making yourself so uncomfortable?
She doesn't want the other people to take it. It's the key to our house.
This is how we're gonna enter my tea party. Planned in secret.
Now I only have one, so you're going to have to share.
I like that they're planning in secret in a room with massive open windows.
Because you need the aesthetic lighting.
I love that you're just ready to start defending everyone. I love it. Cariol, excuse maker.
You know, they probably drew it without the, windows, but then went, how the fuck is this scene being lit? And then they just drew in some windows.
It's like a candle, a torch, a lantern. It's like, no, that's not dramatic.
Yeah, you have to deal with, radial light shit.
Nobody likes to deal with radio light.
Have to, tint it fucking...
And their faces will be all lit up.
And it'll throw off the whole color composition, so just find a way to cram some natural light in there.
No, because the way this is lit kind of implies that there's an overhanging, because their faces are dark, so the light source could be just above them. And he drew like a hang lamp, and it's like they don't have light bulbs. And it's like, oh no, they don't have light bulbs. But I drew one of those squeaky swinging light bulbs. They always have in dark basements.
Skylight.
It's not a basement. They're in a tower. Ooh. Create a unique character concept. Oh, I like this. How to create a background. It's like brainstorming your background. Create a new character concept. Originality. Oh, that's cool. If you strive too hard to be original, you'll likely be disappointed to discover that someone already implemented your idea. Aww. Ooh. And I like this one. This one's really good. It's like the third idea. Always reject your first and second, which is decent because your first and second are too obvious. I like that. Then it's opposites. Take the opposite of what you do. And then it's steal shamelessly. Just steal it.
Yeah, when you see a cool thing, go, ooh, I want to do that cool thing. Then
Okay.
do the cool thing.
Can I?
But, like, scrape the barcode off so that they can't tell what it is.
What about reinterpreting Julius Caesar, or Kaiser technically, as a gnome illusionist?
Oh man, that's great. There even be enough room on his body to stab him enough times?
I like where this is going, though. It's like, has your gnome illusionist received a prophetic message predicting his own death, as Julius Caesar did? That's nice. I like that a lot. That's not steal shamelessly. That's reinterpret reality. That's a cool way to put it.
That's inspiration, baby.
And then in the next section, circumstances of birth, family, and there's a picture of a girl who broke a vase. And he's getting scolded. It's like,
Oh no.
defining moment of my childhood, I broke a vase.
Tragic backstory, no.
I broke a vase and I didn't have my allowance for a week. And thanks to a series of increasingly absurd butterfly effects, I ended up adventuring. Oh, it's the elf guy. It's this guy. He's having such a
that
good
guy
time.
again. Yeah.
He's rocking out.
Passing a kidney stone from the look of it.
You know, I've recently been comparing the artwork of Rise of the Rune Lord to the original and Rise of the Rune Lord's Anniversary Edition. And a lot of the old art conveys the central theme of spooky scary a lot better than the modern does. And it makes me angry. Because it just points out my frustrations with Paizo's insistent on this very clean modern art style. I hate it. I'm going to see if I can find some of them, because the difference is just staggering sometimes. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. That's Corvus in the old books. But if you look at the new books, guy is clean shaven like nobody's business.
Big lumpy lad.
Look at that.
He's still kind of lumpy, but he's like not
He's
freakishly lumpy.
PG-13 lumpy,
Yeah.
and I don't like it. Like in the old books, the goblins all look disgusting and gruesome, and it adds to that feel of these are monsters, these are weeds that need to be rooted out. And now they look, it has a face. I don't feel as good about butchering all of them, despite them literally butchering dogs and eating children.
The second Corvus looks like a Goosebumps cover version. of
He
the first
does! You know what I also don't like? That sword is magical. I much prefer the original, because it's not a fire sword. Why does it look so weird? Was the artist just like, I want to draw cool gradients today?
Yeah. Sometimes you just want to draw a cool sword.
Fair enough.
Like that knife has a big skull on the handle. Was that necessary? No. I don't wanted to do it.
That said, neither of them convey the fact that this guy can spray you with vomit from his mouth.
I mean, the top guy's probably... I could probably believe more vomiting a whole lot.
I mean, he has an arm he doesn't use and a foot growing out of his head.
Yeah.
The Corvus I played had feet for ears, so he couldn't hear very well. and they threw him into a pit with a zombie in it. It was great.
Man, could he kick with the best of them?
Shall we give Belmore 5 more minutes and then we're just gonna say that he's dead until proven otherwise?
Yeah, feeling like that's the course of action at the moment.
All right then. Da-da-da-da. I like the last part because it kind of makes sense. Yes, you would add the genome to your spell check because then you do notice mutations. Oh my god, spell check has been great, but whoever figures out how to get the grammar check to work is guaranteed a Nobel. I mean, to be fair, geneticists really are just people who read a lot. Wink. And I love that there's a website called Explain XKCD, and their transcript has the actual entire genome in that little text box on it. It's not relevant, but it's there. I love the dedication. I don't have words for it.
I mean, 9 times out of 10, XKCD doesn't even bother putting a joke in the comic, so explaining it often helps.
Recently, there was that thing where you could go around on the pages and collect stickers, and I couldn't find a single one, and I was like, I don't even know how this works because I never got to see the interaction at work.
Oh,
Yeah, it made me go a little sad. Just a little sad. Okay, well, Belmore's got 2 minutes. I guarantee you that the minute we stop, he's like, I'm back! Because that's how life works.
I'm back. Sorry, I dropped my router in a bowl of milk.
A bowl of milk? I thought he wanted breakfast.
Maybe he went over to check the router while he was carrying his breakfast. And then there was an unfortunate sequence of events that ended up with Milky Internet.
Milky Internet? Is that the Milky Way?
It's the milkiest way I can think of.
Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba.
I'm so tired today, you know.
Maybe Belmore's giving me a taste of my own medicine because I've jumped out of games myself before, including one of his. Is this revengeance?
Took him this long to get vengeance.
What a timing, what a timing. Right when I was about to kill his character. I mean run a random encounter.
Random encounter.
Yeah. I totally didn't pick the worst one. CR55. I don't even know if you... What is the highest CR you could build? I think like CR30 is the highest the game even... No, there's higher than that. And then you just have to add as many of them as possible. Let's see. Let's see what the highest CR encounter you can build with what is this. There's a Theos 39. Okay. So you need to fight a whole bunch of Satans. If you fight 16 Satans, for some reason, you can't get a CR 47 encounter. I don't know how you end up fighting 16 Satans. Oh, he's unique. Okay, so we're just... Well, you can get 45 if you fight Oino demons, which are not unique. How much experience is good old Satan? 209 million. Rounded to 210 million.
That sounds about right. I mean, he is the head
So-
honcho of badness.
The fun part is that on the website he actually has a special unique title that's a picture. His title is a picture. The Nero Demon is a bit more reasonable, which is half its... Because I noticed that's how the flow works. Is 100 million, 105 million. Nice. So how many levels would you get out of just beating up this one guy if somehow at level 1 you kick his ass? Wow. No. So fun fact, if you manage to kill one of those guys, you go straight to 20 from 1. You need
Wow.
you need a party of 20 to get anything else. And all you have to do is kill Satan. Oh man.
Start as like a fresh-faced little baby, fight one guy, and you're like grizzled veteran.
No, you're like the baby punches him once with a critical and he does no damage, and then everyone else kills him and the baby just becomes a level 20 god. His AC is 74.
Wow.
His to hit is don't even bother. Oh boy. Every day you can do wish. Wow, that's not even that impressive. Although to be fair, spells do stop scaling. Unlike his bonuses, which are ridiculous. Ah. His hit points are 51 d10s plus 663. Almost there. Jesus Christ. Kind of look at you when you just become evil. Well, Belmore isn't here. Presumed dead, missing in action. I'll see you guys in 5 minutes when he shows up.